From the court to the crib, yeah, we cover it all. Woo! Wins and losses, when we rise or we fall. Woo! Love and faith, real life in effect. Woo! Every angle, every play, the dumb perspective. Hosted by Clayton Shields. The dumb perspective.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Want to welcome you back to the Dunk Perspective. Hey, today, got my co-host with me. I wanted to go ahead and allow him to introduce himself. We got plenty of things to talk about today, but first, let's get to it. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Damon. I am part of the Dunk Perspective team. You know, very excited about this new endeavor we're about to embark on, and you guys just need to stay tuned. We're gonna take you on a nice ride.
Now, I've known Damon for quite a while. You might hear me refer to him as Hoop because
Yes, sir.
That's a nickname. That's what I call him. So if I say Hoop, I'm talking about Damon.
That'll be me.
All right. Well, hey, we got a lot to talk about today. Several things to go over. First, we're going to talk about a little bit of the NBA. We'll go into a little bit of WNBA news. For those who are interested, the MLB is back. We'll discuss that a little bit.
Yeah, man, I want to get your opinion. So, in the NBA, let's start with the West. Okay, you got Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Los Angeles, Houston, and Golden State. In your opinion, how do you see this thing turning out?
Well, the Western Conference is viewed as the strongest conference right now in the NBA, given that this Oklahoma City automatically win the championship again. I mean, they're the number one seed again. They have an experienced team. They won a championship. I don't know. Do you just give it to them and not even play the playoffs? Can't do that. Got to play the game, right?
Exactly.
But going into the Western Conference, obviously OKC and San Antonio are going to be the top two teams. I think most people are viewing as the potential champions or a potential contender coming out of the West. Also, those teams could have a potential NBA MVP along with Denver. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But hey, Damon, you know, I think one of the big matchups I particularly want to see, I grew up a Houston Rockets fan, but you got KD going against LeBron and the Lakers. LeBron is in his 19th playoff. 19th playoff. I mean, give the man his flowers. I'm not a huge LeBron fan myself, but the man is 40, 41 years old, whatever he is, and still doing things the way that he's doing it. You got to give the man his flowers. You got to give him his credit. He's one of the best players in the history of the NBA. But I like KD against LeBron. You know, LeBron has dominated. But what do you think, Hoop? What do you think? You think KD can pull off this win against the Lakers, or you think the Lakers? Because remember, they don't have Luka. He's still injured.
Yeah.
So does LeBron put on his cape, or does KD prevail?
I don't know. LeBron is getting up there. So, you know, I know as years go on that it's harder and harder to have a strenuous schedule that they play. So I'm not sure if he's playing less minutes or they're kind of regulating how he plays. But I know without Luka in there, they're having to, you know, switch up some things. And maybe this KD year. Maybe this is going to be his year.
You know, obviously KD is a champion. He's a Finals MVP. We know he's put in the work, and we know who KD is. But, you know, you never want to count LeBron. But KD won his championships when he was with Golden State. And when he played at Golden State, he played with a guy by the name of Steph Curry. Yep. Bet you heard that name before. Steph Curry. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, 37 and 45 this year, and they're still in the playoff chase. 37 and 45. Let me know if you've ever seen a losing record like that in a regular season and somebody makes the playoffs. He dropped 35 in the play-in game against the Clippers the other night.
Clippers, yeah.
So, and knocks the Clippers out. I mean, Steph, we're talking about LeBron's greatness and what he's doing at his age. Steph's up there too.
Yeah.
And he comes out,
still in the playoffs.
Propels his team to a playoff victory. I think that makes Golden State dangerous.
Yeah. They're always dangerous with Draymond, Steph. They still got a nucleus. They're a little older, but, you know, they still making it work.
They're indeed making it work. I tell you, if I'm in the league, I don't want to play against the Golden State Warriors, no matter what their regular season record was. I don't want to see Steph Curry. I liken him to Tom Brady. It's just somebody you just can't ever count out because he always gives a team the chance.
Yeah.
But sewing up the West Coast, the Western Conference, I should say. Obviously, those teams are going to be there, but we also have another conference in the NBA.
That's right. That would be the East. Now you got Detroit, Orlando, and the Hornets. Now, I know there's something called a play-in. Now, for people like myself that's not just engulfed in the NBA, explain to us what exactly is a play-in.
So, for instance, you have Detroit, and Detroit will play against the winner of the Orlando and Charlotte Hornets game. That's the play-in. The play-in is for the teams that were the 9 and 10 seeds to fight to put themselves in position to be the 8th seed. So that gives teams an opportunity, like we talked about Golden State being 37 and 45. It gives them an opportunity to still have a chance to make the playoffs. They have to go on a winning streak, win a few games, and they're in. It's something the NBA's been doing now for years. I personally don't like it. I think, it should be the teams with the top 8 best records. They get into the playoffs. But whatever. What do I know? I'm old school, thinking the old school way. So it's all good. But yeah, so Detroit will play the winner of that game. And obviously Detroit being the number 1 seed with their star player, Cade Cunningham. I don't think they're going to have an issue with either one of those teams in the playoffs. But Charlotte won a game the other night.
Yeah, they won a game the other night, but, so it was an incident with LaMelo and Bam. So for what I'm hearing, this is not LaMelo's first time being involved in something like this. So what do you think?
Yeah, he's a ball. He's a ball brother.
Yeah.
I mean, we know LeVar, what he taught his kids and,
Yep.
and all that. No, I'm not gonna blame it on that. LaMelo is an outstanding young player. The incident he's referring to, if any of you've seen it, if you watched the game, if you've seen the highlights, was all over sports news. Should he have been ejected? Should he be suspended? There are all these determinations about what should happen to LaMelo Ball. I'm gonna give my breakdown of it. My breakdown of it is simply this. It looked to me when LaMelo came down after trying to shoot that shot, he came down, his arm was pinned behind Bam's leg. I think instinctively, if your arm is too far back, you're going to try to pull your arm forward so that you don't hyperextend your shoulder. You kind of feel that tension. You want to get your arm back, immediately. That's just going to be a natural reaction, I believe. And I think that's what LaMelo did. But at some point in that natural reaction, he had the consciousness to open his hand up and swipe Bam's leg as he did it. So does that make it have some intent? I think so. I see it as a flagrant 1. I don't think he should have been ejected for it. It was definitely a flagrant 1 foul. And unfortunately, Bam came down hard and was hurt and couldn't return to the game, which was a big, big blow for Miami during that game. But I don't think it deserves an ejection. Some people may disagree. I know Heat fans disagree. Charlotte fans think it probably shouldn't have even been a foul. So either way we call it, the ref calls it the way it was. The game went the way it did. Charlotte ended up on top. Move on to the next thing.
Okay.
So we got just real quick to touch on the MVP race. I think I might have mentioned it a little bit earlier, but SGA, 31 points, 4 assists, 6 boards a game. You got Wemby, 25 points, 11.5 boards.
Very impressive.
3 blocks a game. Very impressive.
Very impressive.
And then you have Nikola Jokic, a.k.a. the Joker.
The Joker, yep.
Denver Nuggets star center. 27.7 points, 13 rebounds, almost 11 assists a game. This man is a center, and he was 7th or 8th in the league in scoring at almost 28 a game. High scorer.
Putting up
But he led the league in rebounds, and get this, everybody. Led the league in assists. I don't know. Wilt Chamberlain might have done something like that. I don't remember. But this guy averaged a triple-double. Led the league in rebounds and assists.
As a center.
As a center.
Wow.
I mean, I've expressed this on other platforms. Joker just got my vote to be the MVP. I just don't think that anyone can deny that type of output as a player
Yeah.
and the impact that it has on his team.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got Minnesota in the first round. That's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be
So
interesting.
We'll
Yeah.
be interested. All right. Absolutely. All right. Welcome back to the Dunk Perspective. We're going to continue on to our next topic. What we got, Hoop?
Next topic. We're going to be talking about the WNBA. Let's talk about the draft. Ozzie Fudd, I believe that's her name, Ozzie Fudd, number 1 overall to Dallas. Let me get your perspective on 2 number 1 draft picks in the last 2 years. What is the expectations of Dallas going forward after these 2 picks?
Well, they got 2 number 1 picks from UConn. They won the national championship last year. They lost, obviously, to UCLA this year. Speaking with you off camera, you mentioned that Dallas is in the rebuilding phase.
Yeah.
How did they get 2 number 1 picks? Well, I personally think Dallas has been in the rebuilding phase since they've been in the league, but that's neither here nor there. They do have Ozzie Fudd and Paige Bueckers. But the interesting thing about this is that the new CBA, with that, Ozzie Fudd will be making 6 times more money than Paige did as the number 1 pick last year. They're former UConn teammates. They know each other pretty well, and in fact,
they might know each other a little bit too well. So,
yeah, there's been some rumors. We're obviously doing some kind of TED Talk podcast stuff here, but consider us journalists. We journalists? Are we journalists? Yeah, I consider. But there's been some rumors that Ozzie Fudd and Paige Bueckers have been in a personal romantic relationship. Yeah. Hey, whatever makes your boat float. I don't care what people do. They do whatever they like to do. So this is nothing, but it's just something we'll discuss, because when I think about that in the WNBA, we've seen teammates.
It's not uncommon. It's not
very
uncommon.
common in romantic relationships, and they play on the same team.
Right.
There's even been teammates that have been married in the WNBA, playing on the same team.
Right.
So that's the WNBA. So let me ask you this, Hoop. Do we ever see that in the NBA?
It is 2026. So you can never say never, but I don't think we'll see it. I'm just going to say right now, I don't think we'll see it. But whatever, by no way, shape, or form do we condemn anybody for any type of relationship they want to have. Hey, whatever floats your boat, But I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know if we ever will in our lifetime. But you know what?
Yeah.
It might be going on now. We may not even know. But
I mean, just like hypothetically, if like LeBron and Luka were dating.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just one of the things you think about. Some of the difference to the WNBA and the NBA, but that's just something I just thought about. Was just like, okay, that happens in the WNBA. It's not uncommon. I don't think we see that in the NBA personally. I think it's just a kind of a different mentality about all that. But anyway, you have any comment about that?
Speaking of the CBA, so Ozzy's coming in making a lot more money than the girls did last year, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just didn't know how that actually worked. So I didn't know if it was a renegotiation or they still playing under the same contract that they had last year, or did they renegotiate and everybody gets new contracts?
Well, you think about like the NFL, where people they renegotiate the contracts and make certain things fit and all that stuff.
Right.
I don't think so much in the WNBA, at least not the NBA. They don't do that. Your contract is your contract.
Right.
So in Paige's case, she signed to the contract. She has to play the contract out legally.
Right.
That's what you're supposed to do. Now, if Dallas decides that, hey, you know what, we want to make you happy. We understand that you signed last year, and it was different than it is this year. they could do that on their own if they wanted to do that. Right. I don't know that they will. A lot of times, the contract is what it is. You signed it, right, and that's what you're held to. But for someone like a veteran player, and Asia Wilson just signed a 3-year, $5 million contract.
Okay, she's making some big money.
So yeah, she's making, and you know what? Deservedly so. Asia Wilson is arguably the best WNBA player ever, at least in the last 4 years, 5 years, whatever the case, however long she's been in the WNBA. She's incredible and unstoppable. So give her flowers. 3 years, $5 million. That's a good jump for her.
Yeah, definitely. So there's been some moving parts too. You got Angel Reese in Atlanta. You got Brittany to Connecticut. How do you see things playing out as far as, with the change of, moving parts, moving from each team and how they'll gel with each team when they go? Because both these are two big players, and they're going to change. They're going to change, the whole dynamic of the team once they get there. So it's going to be a big change for both of them adjusting, and also for the team adjusting to them.
Yeah, every time you have a change like that, and someone that's going to come into your team and make a instant impact. I mean, Angel Reese is not going to go and sit the bench in Atlanta, and Brittany Griner is not going to go sit the bench in Connecticut. There has to be some kind of camaraderie, and that's the coach's responsibility, is to get all these personalities to be able to gel and get teams to be able to play together and work toward a common goal. And I think for everybody, hopefully, that's to win a championship. And now with this new money deals, I think that also gives them incentives to win more and be more recognized, because now they can get some pretty big contracts. So Angel Reese, going from Chicago to Atlanta, I don't know why. I don't know if there was any particular reason. If Chicago was tired of Angel, or Angel was tired of Chicago, if there was something internal, I don't know. That was a surprise move for me to hear that she had gone to Atlanta. But had Brittany remained in Atlanta and they both been in Atlanta at the same time, I think that would have gave Atlanta some some size in rebounding. Angel Reese is a very quick player for a player of her size, in women's standards. She's very quick and athletic.
Could they have played together as far as personalities?
Yeah. I don't see why not. I don't think Brittany demands the spotlight as much anymore as she may have early in her career. Now, you got to remember, Brittany's been in the WNBA for a long time, and she's had some traumatic things that happen to her with the whole ordeal in Russia. It seems like then, you haven't really heard a whole lot from Brittany. So I don't think she's out to really talk about a whole lot of things, and just more so just be able to stay in the WNBA and continue to play as long as she can. But we'll see what happens with that. The WNBA, again, new money, larger contract, big deals. Players are getting endorsements. I'm not sure what everyone's endorsements are, but they are getting some endorsements. They're going on the right track. I think the WNBA is going to keep growing, and good for them that it does. I think they deserve it.
The dumb perspective.